Greetings hobbyists, this is Artisans of All, and this is the Toucan from 3D Maker Pro. Let's take a look. So the Toucan is a standalone 3D scanner, meaning that you don't need any computer to be able to use it. It will do all of the scanning and the editing on the device itself, which is obviously really useful, freeing you from being connected to your computer or laptop. It comes in this nice case for carrying around, with a calibration board, some stickers, and as well as that, in the back pocket, you get a free rotating platform, something that generally isn't included with other standalone 3D scanners, so that's nice. It's not powered, but I generally use something like this probably about 50% of the time when doing 3D scanning over one that is powered, so that's perfectly fine. Onto the Toucan itself, and well, it's got to be said, this thing looks really nice. It's compact, well made with a really solid body, and it just looks fantastic. As is so often the case with things like this, it's not as comfortable in the hand as I necessarily would like. The edges are maybe a little bit sharper than I want. But some people want things that are more ergonomically comfortable, and other people want things that are going to just really look the part. This is probably a little bit more the latter than the former. But 3D Maker Pro seem to have that covered. There's an optional silicone cover that you can buy for this, which makes it much more comfortable, and then obviously provides an added element of protection in case you're accidentally going to drop it. It also comes with a loop that you can tie to either side and then put around your neck just in case you are going to drop it. I'm not going to show you that in this video, mostly because it's going to get in the way of the filming process, but it fits perfectly well. I think I'd probably rather have something that just goes around my wrist, but you could always purchase that at a later date. Lastly, you get a tripod on a ball joint. They've also sensibly given you this part which can come off, which means it will fit on the scanner with or without the cover. Nice thought there, other than the fact that I'm useless enough that I'll lose that round bit at some point. Moving on, I wanted to check out the UI, being that this is a standalone unit, and first of all, the screen's really nice. I know it's not showing up perfectly here because of the camera lights, but everything's clear and easy to see, and the touchscreen's really responsive. The interface is pretty common sense and easy to follow. You're going to get very bored of seeing this laser warning, I know I did, and this is the main 3D printing screen. You've got your near and far options because the scanner can do both. I'm going to focus on the near option because I generally scan smaller objects. And putting my hand in front of the scanner, you can see we get this ranging tool that tells us how far our objects are away from the scanner. Using the far option, exactly the same options are present, and you can see you get these warnings when items are either too close or too far, making this all pretty easy to use. And here comes the laser warning screen again. Yeah, it does come up every time you change an option about the 3D scanner. Speaking of options, you get three major scanning modes: texture, geometry, and marker. And I really like that for a lot of the buttons you get this information icon to tell you about what you're doing. This was one of my issues when I last tried a 3D Maker Pro scanner, was that it wasn't really intuitive what each of the buttons does. And this really solves that, so that's some great improvement there. And this gives you an idea of what the three scanning modes does. Texture is an interesting possibility that a lot of scanners don't have, working off of the actual colours that you've got. So if you have a flat object, this should be a way of helping you scan it if there's, let's say, a pattern on it, for example. Geometry is the typical thing of using the features of the object, as in the bits that actually stick out. And then finally, marker mode uses small markers that you can place on any objects to track using those. And you do get some markers with the scanner. You also have some options for colour scanning, and if the object's particularly dark. And then this useful repetitive pattern option if you've got an object that has similar features again and again. Finally, you've got an option for the laser type. You can change this to a class 1 instead of a class 3, and that makes it more suitable for scanning people and faces. Though when I turned this on, it was still pretty bright, and I'm not sure how much I'd want this flashing in my eyes. On to 3D scanning, and I thought I'd try out the geometry mode first. It's probably the one that I'm most likely to do, focusing on the physical features, the bits that stick out of an object. At the top, we've got this gauge that shows you how near or far you are from the object, making it easy for you to get the Toucan at the best distance for your scan. Starting the scan, instantly we get a very nice capture. As I rotate this around, you can see we get very good tracking of the object. I found exactly the same thing when I scanned the 3D Maker Pro Moose. Their scanners do seem to have great tracking, as long as you've got some acceptable lighting. One thing I want to mention is that this is in the close-in setting, which is going to be as high a detail as possible, but it does have a relatively small window. I can't take the scanner back much further, so I'm going to have to scan this in two parts. As you can see, I'm just moving the scanner around. I didn't even pause this, so it's kept going all of this time and hasn't had any issues as I've done that. We're getting no issues as I scan the bottom half, again keeping up with that fantastic tracking. Now at this point I realised I hadn't quite got the top of the ears, so again without pausing I just thought I'd lift this up and get the top of the head and get those ears, just so I don't have any holes there, as that's the bit you're going to see if you 3D printed this. Now this is genuinely the first scan I did with the Toucan, and it's very easy to use, especially if you've got any form of experience with a 3D scanner. Now while it was out of shot I paused this, but you can see we can look around the 3D scan that we've got. This does look like it's got a load of extra arms at this point, and this is a bit where someone might have a bit of a worry, think it's gone all wrong and start again. But actually not just the 3D Maker Pro software, but most software now will have a good go at recognising that and trying to align the different elements of the scan. Now at this point you're going to see what I think is probably the biggest issue with this 3D scanner. And depending on your use, it's not going to be a big one, but for some people this will be a real problem. Once you've completed your scanner and you click that finish button, you have no option but for it to do the first part of processing of the scan. And this isn't me having paused the recording, this is all being shown in real time. This is all going on in real time. It got quite quickly up to this point, and then just sat there trying to work out different elements of where I'm assuming the different vertices are. I think this is the fact that everything's not perfectly aligned and it's working it out. Now if you only got one object to scan, this isn't going to be a huge issue. But say you were doing something at like, I don't know, a show or demoing something, or you need to do multiple objects in a row. The fact that you've got to wait for this process to complete is quite frustrating. Whereas with other scanners I've used, it's just allowed you to save it as a point cloud at this point, and you can do the processing later when you've got the time to do it. Okay, I've got a bit bored of that now, but just so you know, this took a total of 2 minutes and 10 seconds, and this isn't the largest scan you're going to be taking, so I expect that to get quite a bit longer if you're doing a large object. Now I know you're getting a bit of glare on the screen because of the lights I'm using, but this is a very, very nice screen. It's really responsive and easy to use. It uses all the standard expected screen commands, pinching to zoom in and out and rotating around. And that makes editing your scans on the Toucan really easy. For example here, I'm just selecting some of the extra elements that you sometimes get in 3D scans. You can see on the top left hand side you get this sort of zoom in box to make this easier, and then you can delete out these bits of information that you don't want. And we can save as we go to come back to this file later, though as I said I wish we could have saved this when it was just point data. Just to quickly show you that the rest of the editing can be done on the Toucan, we can then start doing the final processing. You get all of these options. I've seen in another review saying that you can't repair gaps or holes. You can, you just do it here, and you've got little information buttons telling you what each of these icons do, so that makes this part of the process really simple. Texture mapping will put on colours. I'm not going to do that because I didn't scan in colour, and then we just click apply and start working through the process. Now this goes through some of the bits really quickly. I'm not going to show you all of this, but the noise removal probably would have got rid of those vertices that I manually removed anyway, but it's worth doing. But some of the later processes like that hole filling can take a pretty long time, and in total this processing took just over 10 minutes. Now the Toucan has an advertised battery time of about 2 hours. I never let it totally lose charge, but I'd say from the testing that seems pretty accurate. So how you feel about that battery time with the processing time is something you're going to have to make your mind up about. Anyway, you can see the results of that scan here, and the detailing is excellent. I will say I'm slightly frustrated by the fact that it didn't fill in the hole at the bottom of the object. Now, this is a stuffed toy, which means I can't just flip it over and scan the other side and merge the two scans together. So whatever happens if I do want to 3D print this, I am going to have to bring this into some form of other editing software as well. Now I wanted to show you through the process because I think that's really useful to see, but I didn't want this video to take too long. Otherwise I just find people don't watch it. But there's a couple of other scans I really wanted to show you. The first is of this Warhammer miniature. I've put it on a plinth that helps with 3D scanning. I want to be very clear about that. I've got a video on how to help 3D scanning small objects. I'll put a link to that in the description, and I've pulled out all the stops to make that work. I've got good lighting and I'm using this plinth which really helps with tracking, so I haven't had to use any marker dots at all. But using those in marker mode is also an option. But this miniature really is tiny. It measures just under 4 centimeters in height, and most of the parts are relatively small, especially the details. Now the processing of this on the Toucan was shorter. It only took about 6 minutes, probably because I've only got one rotation of the model as opposed to multiple rotations, so a lot less frames. but you can see how this came out. In my opinion, this is done shockingly well on capturing the small details. I really wasn't expecting this from a scanner that does mixed size scanning. So this is the actual process model. You can see it's missed the base because it's black, but actually that's quite useful for removing the scanning plinth. And you can see we've got the detailing that was captured very nicely. You can see small rivets, and you've got the edging on the armour. I mean, that's well under 1 millimetre in thickness. Here you can see the nubs on the model that would be used to fit onto other parts. This is really important for me because that's what I do. I make alternative pieces to add to this, and you can see the general detailing we're getting. There's a slight amount of rounding of the sharp edges. Very expected of a model of this size, though I do wish we had a bit more control over the processing of the models. It's slightly simplistic with a lack of fine detail for those options. At least for a model this small where you need that control to get those sharp corners. The other thing I wanted to try scanning was using the texture scanning mode. I mentioned that towards the beginning of the video, and for that I thought I'd try out a mug. Now, as often happens, this did have a little bit of difficulty scanning the bottom of this mug, which is a darker colour and reflective, but it did a pretty okay job of it. However, the texture tracking didn't seem quite up to task. You can see here it's got confused about where the handle is, and when I did the processing, and the processing of coloured objects does take quite a long time, this took over 20 minutes to get the processing done, it's messed up the positioning of where the wraparound is. So I'm not quite sure that this texture tracking is as good as the geometry tracking. I probably should have done this using markers. I think that's something they need to work on a little bit with the software. And I did try doing this an additional 2 times, starting with the handle in different positions, and never got a better result out of it. And after a bit over an hour of the scanning and processing, I kind of got a bit bored with the whole thing. I think this is about as good as it's going to do in this instance. So at this point, I'm not entirely convinced by the texture tracking mode, though it might work better on a matte surface, but I will say the colour on this is absolutely fantastic. So if you were to do a colour scan of another object that actually had some geometry to it, or used the 3D markers, this would come out with an absolutely stunning result. Like, these are really vivid, nice colours. Again, I've got some good lighting, but this is probably one of the best colour scans that I've actually seen in terms of the colours being really accurate. The final thing I wanted to end on is that the Toucan can also do larger scans as well. It has a mode for that. I didn't really get a chance to try that out. One, it's not really something I do a lot of. I scan smaller miniatures, and also that seems to be the thing that most people are scanning if you see other videos, and I wanted to do something a bit different. But if that's something you're interested in, I'd recommend checking out some other videos that show that. There are quite a few good videos of that already. So that is the 3DMakerpro Toucan. If there are any questions you've got that I haven't covered, feel free to say so in the comments. I'll put a link to the Toucan in the description, as well as if there's any discount codes as well, I'll stick that in the description by that link. Hopefully you found this video useful, and if you have, I'd appreciate you hitting that like button, and I hope to see you in the next video. Have a great day, guys.